welcome. Yes, you're in the new Providence. When niggas get to snapping like they got no common sense. When we approach with confidence, we go with confidence. His offense is enough to throw the hardest to the fence.
Yeah, bitch, I'm on top of my game. So we can take my picture, put it in a superstar frame.
Now I get steady looks, cause I got heavy push. A playmaker with the rock, no Reggie Bush. Yeah, the Betty look kinda like a heavy book. They ready shook cause they already heard the hook.
Yeah.
Board up.
Yeah, bro. We back in the building. What's going on, man? We live. We live, baby. All right, man. We live. We will help y'all with some of y'all fantasy questions. This is pre-gaming with the Beer Bros by Fuss Sports. Make sure y'all tune in every week, man. We're going to try to give y'all some fantasy advice. If you guys join, then we'll answer any questions y'all got. The link to join will be in the comments shortly. Let's go ahead and get this one started. Let's dive into some of this week's headline. Mr. Jay Reeves, what's some of your headlines going into this week 3 of football?
Man, some of the major headlines, man, is one of the biggest games that I'm looking at this week. One of the most exciting games. The Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Now, we sit here, both teams are 0-2. Whoever goes 0-3 has a real tough time of making the playoffs, and this is 2 playoff teams from last year, man. This is going to be a very explosive game.
Yeah, man, it should be crazy. A lot of superstar power on this field. Want to see which one is able to not drop to 0-3 because we all hear about those numbers for teams that start 0-3 and their chances on making the playoffs. So we know to make the playoffs, you got to get your first one. So we'll see where that one goes. Silly C, what headlines are you looking forward to this Sunday?
Man, I'm looking to there's a lot of fantasy prospects or fantasy possibilities this week. One of the people I'm definitely looking forward to this week will be Mr. Patrick Mahomes. I think he'll have a big game this week. Definitely looking right now at like above 300 passing yards, and I do see him reaching that, and he's projected right now for 28 fantasy points. I think he'll actually have a bigger game. So I would definitely look at, if you're looking at any player props or anything, definitely look at getting some Kansas City in there. I think they're going to have a big game.
Yeah, and that's that's more of just a regularity than the actual headline. This full Patrick Mahomes gets it done. The quarterback on the other side of the field is the one that I want to focus on. Justin Fields made some headlines this week by coming out and kind of putting the coaching staff on blast. It's been tough. It's been tough sledding, but now everybody's talking about his record. You know, he's 5-22 as a starter. Does he have the right to be coming out and calling out coaches, staff, teammates, stuff like that? I don't know, but I do think that it's time for him to get something done on the field. He's been struggling as of late. His team's 0-2. They've lost the last 12 games and given up over 25 points on defense. The Chicago Bears, let's see what Fields and the Bears could do because, man, it's looking tough for them. Yeah, man, that's just one of the headlines. Obviously, we only touched on 2 games in those headlines. So let's go ahead and touch on some of the lines for these other games. Cody, do you have any lines on any games that you find to be pretty interesting that people should take a look at, maybe put a wager on? What do you think about some of these games? And Cody, if you don't have one ready, Jay Reeves, do you have any lines on?
Wow. I'm ready to fire him off.
What you got, Reeves? What you
Let's
got,
go
Reeves?
there.
I'm ready to fire him off. Yo, man, I really like the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm lying to you. I'm sorry. I like the New England Patriots facing the Jets. They're sitting at -2.5. Another real intriguing one to me. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns on the money line -180, and the Detroit Dookie Lions taking on the Atlanta Falcons. They got that game sitting at -3. These are actually lines that I'm heavily a part of. So I'm really expecting some smash plays from those 3 teams.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions, obviously, they're the kneecap gobblers. We'll see how they're able to come in and get it done. this week. Silly Siege, were you able to see a line that you might like this week, or one that's kind of draws you into question?
I don't know. I think this is definitely a good week, but one line that I definitely like a lot is the Chargers right now. The line's sitting at 102 in favor of the Chargers. I think that they're going to actually win that, so I would definitely look at them. The spread's currently sitting at 1. I think it's going to be a close game, but I would definitely take them on the spread. And I like that over under. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. So I think I would take the over. And I got that sitting right now at 54. So
I like it.
fireworks in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely always smart to take the over in nowadays games, unless you're a Bronco fan, man. And I'm just really trying to see how my Broncos are going to fare taking their talents to South Beach this week. It's going to be a tough one. We have been hit by little injuries and stuff, but at this point, it's time to get something done, or we're going to have to make a change, man. I'm not sure what's next for the Broncos, but I think standing stagnant would kind of just leave us kind of screwed in the end. Speaking of the injury bug, man, let's go ahead and dive into this inactive list. It just came out. We got Cordarrelle Patterson as inactive. We got Justice Hill as out. Odell Beckham Jr. out. Josh Reynolds is active. St. Brown is active. David Montgomery is out. Christian Watson is out. Aaron Jones is out. Zay Jones is out. Anthony Richardson out. Eckler out. Waddle out. Cam Akers inactive for Minnesota after his new trade. Jamal Williams out. DeAndre Hopkins is active, and that's pretty much all for the early slate of games. Jay Reed's initial reaction to some of those inactives and maybe some options for those fantasy starters that are just waking up and finding this out.
Yeah, man. One of the reasons why I'm riding high with the Detroit Lions is because Amon-Ra St. Brown and Josh Reynolds are both going to be active for this game. They wake up for this game. I say they get it done at home. Now, the Green Bay Packers are in a sticky situation here. I'm really torn between this game because Christian Watson and Aaron Jones. Christian Watson hasn't played all season, but Aaron Jones is a real key component to their offense. It's going to be a little interesting to see what they do today facing a tough New Orleans Saints defense, man. I don't know. I think the Saints could go on the road and get the win here, man.
Cody, let's keep it right there, man. You are the numbers guy. I am one of the fantasy owners that's just now pulling Aaron Jones out of my lineup with his inactive announcement, but I'm also one of the fortunate people that have A.J. Dillon. What can we expect from A.J. Dillon with Aaron Jones being inactive? He didn't do really great last week against the Falcons when we were expecting him to get a lion's share of the load. What can I expect from A.J. Dillon and other fantasy owners out there?
A.J. Dillon, I think he's definitely risky right now if you want to try to get him in your lineup. He's projected for about 10 fantasy points, and that's in the PPR league. About 38 rushing yards with a 40% chance to get in the end zone. And I see him just under 2 receptions. So I really don't see much deal in A.J. Dillon. So I would probably look to go another way if you have to.
Hey, can we smash the button on the boy Jaden Reed? Jaden Reed, he actually, what did he drop? Like 2 touchdowns last week versus the Atlanta Falcons, man. So I don't know, man. I think this is a real nice spot for the boy Jaden Reed, man, to go ahead and put him in your fantasy lineup.
Yeah, man. And I don't know what that could mean for A.J. Dillon with Jaden Reed. He was obviously a big star last week with Christian Watson being out. He's out again, so we'll see if he can continue his contribution. They also have the other young dude in the Packers. You know what? I'm done talking about the Packers. Let's kind of move this forward and talk about some of the other stuff. We've seen all the hurt people, all the injuries that folks are dealing with. What say you, Jay Reeves, about doing this sick and tired segment, man? Let's go ahead and check out Jay Reeves' sick and tired. We can ask him some questions and kind of figure out where he stands on some of these injuries and the best way to get it going. Let's All right, man. Let's take a look into it, man. We are sick and tired. We got our boy Jay Reeves, the Jock Doc. Nah, I'm just kidding. You say you didn't want me to call you that. You say you didn't want me to call you that. You know what I'm saying? So I won't call you that, but I couldn't help myself. You know what I'm saying? Make sure if you guys have any questions, man, you guys check out the links in the comment. We also got a stream, the little ticker at the bottom of the page running the link. You can join the stream, ask your questions, or you can just ask them right there in the comments. Right now, we ain't got no viewers, but when people wake up and get on, make sure you tap in, get your questions in, and we'll just keep it pushing. Jay Reeves, we got some people hitting your clinic today, man. And one I want to start with is my Denver Broncos, man. And as a Bronco fan, I'm just getting a lot of anxiety, man. And how can we make it right? Jay Reeves, you the doctor. Go ahead and diagnose me and let me know what to do as a Bronco fan.
Oh man, I got the prescription for you, man. What you gonna do? You're gonna pop 2 Flexerols and put your ass right to sleep, man. The Broncos is not doing it for you. I'm telling you right now. Russell Wilson has actually been really good for fantasy football. He just hasn't been really good for the Denver Broncos, man. He's actually been cooking a little bit, but he still seems semi-cooked. We can't mess with that raw meat out of here. That'll leave you real ill, man. But with that being said, this is a real tricky line. -6 is a lot of points. I think the Broncos could go on the road, possibly cover this when their back is up against the wall, man. They could possibly win this game. They have to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, historically, Miami is a tough place to play in the early season just because it's hot, it's humid, and it's tempting. We all know that lovely Florida weather and how ridiculous it can be. But man, let's keep it pushing. Russell,
I would like to put a little in there with Jalen Waddle actually out. I think that's the best thing that could happen right now for the Broncos. So again, they do have Tyreek Hill though, so we got to watch out. But I do see us having a better chance not having to deal with both of those receivers. So I definitely want to put that in there.
Yeah, it definitely will let you know which way to kind of make your strong side of the field. I don't know what is the strong side of the field in Cincinnati. You can tell me, Jay Reeves, how we can fix the ailing Bengals offense, the Burrow and Chase situation that a lot of people thought was a no-brainer this year has led us to a lot of thinking, and I think I got a headache now. Jay Reeves, how do you fix the ailments that are plaguing the Chase, Burrow, and the Bengals?
Man, I'm gonna prescribe you with 3 ibuprofen and 1 Oxycontin for this man Joe Burrow's back, man. Here's the thing, Joe Burrow has not looked good ever since the calf strain. I think he has some other issues going on there that they're just not talking about. It would be best to sit him down and rest him for weeks, but can the Bengals really afford that? No, they can't. And as far as Chase goes, man, he is I'd say shit. He has really been putting it up this year, man. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say it, but I'm feeling like Chase is a possible bust this year if he doesn't have his boy Joe Burrow. This game stinks all the way around, man. And I'm definitely rolling with the St. Louis Rams in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, you look around, Addison, Reynolds, Diggs, a guy named Puka Nuka, a guy named Tutu. All of these players that I listed that got drafted after freaking Chase are
way after Chase,
substantially better seasons than him. So I don't really know how you gonna fix that. Silly C, what kind of numbers can we expect from the Bengals, Burrow, and Chase for the day?
Well, this is going to be, a very interesting game, and we'll have to see kind of what he can do. But Burrow right now is projected for 251 yards and about 2 touchdowns, 5 rushing yards. I think he probably shouldn't be running, and about 21 fantasy points. I don't really like Burrow in this at all. When it does come, when it comes to Chase, I think right now with Burrow's injury, I think he's definitely a risk. So he's projected currently for 87 yards and has a 60% chance to get in the end zone and 19 points. But I don't see him getting that. I think they need to sit Burrow along with what Reed said, and I would kind of watch out for playing them. And if you drafted Chase or Burrow, you're probably struggling right now.
Struggling.
Absolutely, man. And then we got the Patriots tight end, Hunter Henry, who has been eating. But Jay Reeves, is he putting on too much weight from all the eating he's doing earlier in the season? And will it start tapering back out? Or is this the type of chunky performances we're going to see from Hunter Henry for the entire season?
Hunter Henry is like a fresh IV in the arm. It's a shot of life circulating throughout your body. Hunter Henry has been getting it done, man. He is hands down Mac Jones' favorite target because your boy Juju Smith-Schuster, Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne. I don't even want to go on anymore. Those guys are doing too much of anything. A whole bunch of putty to man. Hunter Henry. He is the guy who you definitely want to get in your lineup, man.
Cody, what do the numbers say? How do we treat what we're doing with Hunter Henry, and should we count on him moving forward this season?
Right now, I would say at the tight end position, there's really not much going on. So Hunter Henry definitely someone you can count on for that position in fantasy. He's projected for about 3 receptions, 32 yards with a 26% chance to get in the end zone, only 7 fantasy points. But I do like him at that tight end position, and I do see him actually getting a little bit more targets. So I do see him actually being a potential a good addition to your fantasy team.
All right, man. And then last but not least, we are at the doctor's office. So I got to figure out what's going on with the entire running back situation, man, in the NFL. Jay Reeves, they're dropping like flies. We're missing first round picks. We're missing second round picks. People are getting traded. We got people coming off the street running the ball. What do we make out of this? And who is the biggest loss of that running back position with Eckler and Jamal Williams and Chubb and all of these people already being down in such an early part of the season?
Oh, man, the running back situation, it's a real tricky one, man. The NFL has filed a grievance because the running backs were told to fake injuries this season, man. So just because they're like majorly undervalued, man. The biggest loss to me, yeah, Nick Chubb is a huge loss. Austin Eckler, Saquon Barkley. But the biggest loss to me is a guy who's still on the field, and that's the boy Josh Jacobs, who has done absolutely nothing this year. Sitting out all of training camp, it really shows and proves on the field, man. Hopefully Josh Jacobs can get back on track. Austin Eckler, his situation is looking real murky. I'm just feeling like Austin Eckler may be out for a while. So fantasy managers who have Austin Eckler and Saquon Barkley have a lot to deal with because those were the 2 most disgruntled dudes in the offseason, man. This running back situation is extremely cloudy, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Go ahead and start scooping up some of those second-tier running backs, some fools who actually have something to play for.
Yeah, man, it's looking rough. We lost J.K. Dobbin, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, Jamal Williams, Salvin Ahmad, Evan Hall, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, and Austin Eckler this year. It looks like a Pro Bowl staff of running backs that we're missing this year. Cody, how do you navigate that running back position without just closing your eyes and just sheer luck?
Really, right now, there's really no way to. I mean, especially a lot of fantasy owners that went running back heavy and actually wasted some of their picks for getting some of these prospects who are out. And really, if you drafted Chubb and any of these running backs, I mean, now you're looking at a very high pick that you're no longer able to get any production from. So I think it's very tough for any of those fantasy owners and the running back position right now. It's starting to become more of a kind of weekly, let's say you can just stick somebody in weekly almost.
Yeah, I mean, freaking You know, I'm that guy. I'm the guy that went running back heavy. I didn't really see it going into the wide receiver this year. And even with the wide receiver, that has been kind of murky. Even the performance of the top quarterbacks that have left. I mean, Mahomes struggled in week 1. He's kind of getting back on track. Fields was a high pick. He's been struggling. Lamar Jackson hasn't had a great game. Josh Allen hasn't had a ton of terrificness. When the top quarterbacks in the league are people like Brock Purdy and Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, what say you about the top of the draft, man? Is it time that the cream of the crop is not rising to the top? Jay Reese?
Nah, man. The cream of the crop, they about to rise to the top, man. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, they will all be at the top of this list by the end of the year. So you don't have anything to worry about there. Kirk Cousins is a real surprising candidate to be the number 1 quarterback throughout fantasy this year. And I have to say that somebody is a mild visionary who has them on their team. So that's neither here nor there, but y'all know.
I hope you're not talking about my wife, because
y'all know who I'm talking about. That girl,
man, I hope y'all not talking about my wife.
She
got Kirk Cousins, and I don't know how she's doing it right now. She takes this whole bag of bums and puts them on the field and just destroys everybody, man. Every pick she made this year, I was just laughing at her. And then week 1, guess who got the last laugh? Not me. I lost. Nobody cares about my fantasy team. All right, man, let's get into something that we do care about. Betting, making money, Guapaluba. You know what I'm saying? Guapaluba, Guappenheimer. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out who is the props and who is the ops. Jay Reeves, you want to serve up a pair of players to Silly C and see who he thinks who is the props and who is the ops?
No, I'm going to save my players for my segment. Silly C, you got this.
All right, Silly C.
Okay, well, I guess it is.
All right, so come up with your own damn duo, is what he said.
All right. Well, so I have to ask y'all, we're going to go into the Kansas City game here. Is it props or ops for Edwards-Helaire to hit his line of 13.5 rushing yards? Or McKinnon to hit his prop line of 14.5 receiving yards?
14.5 receiving yards for McKinnon?
Yeah.
And Kadarius Toney's still in Kansas City, right? So he has to throw it to somebody else, right? Yeah. Wow, I didn't know you didn't start at the bottom of the barrel, and I need to think about this. Hey, Reese, which one do you think is the props and which one is the ops?
Well, this is a real gross situation right here that my man's pulled up.
Yeah. He said, how could I just shit on the show like this? All right, go ahead.
But I'm definitely going to roll with Jake McKinnon in this situation because, like you said, the Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, there's nobody to really pass to except for Travis Kelce. Jake McKinnon hasn't really been involved that much this year. I think he gets it going, man, possibly even getting some garbage time work. So I'm definitely taking Jake McKinnon in this spot.
Yeah, I'm going to take Jerick McKinnon as well. I do think that Pacheco has been making strides towards playing. I think last night I got a little alert that said he's going to possibly be active today, so I would taper down Helaire, his production, and I think McKinnon will get his usual role, and that'll be being the third down back. Great pass blocker and receiver, so I got him as the props going over that first down worth of yardage. You quoted 14 yards. That's a long
14 and a half.
That's a third down conversion. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna go with McKinnon being the prop. Silly C, what's your next pair?
All right, let's jump into this. So my next pair, we're gonna say, do you all say Breece Hall gets 44.5 yards or James Cook gets 26.5 yards? Which one's the props?
Russian.
They
got James Cook quoted at 26.5 yards, and not Dalvin Cook, right?
James Cook
is going to get over 26.5 yards. Absolutely. And Breece Hall, he didn't have a monster number, but I don't know about that offense in general. Missing Aaron Rodgers was a huge blow. They were able to make it look decent on Monday Night Football on September 11th, but last week they got shellacked by the Cowboys, and I'm just not sure if I can trust in Brees to get the workload that he's going to get if his team's going to get waxed and dried every day. Jay Reeves, what do you think about waxed and air drying of the Jets?
Yeah, man. I don't want to step on any toes here, but I actually have James Cook at 55.5 rushing yards, and that's the direction I'm going to go in. James Cook is definitely the props here, especially with weather conditions in the DMV area. Brees Hall, it's real tough, man, because he's such a talented player on such a shitty ass team. Ever since Aaron Rodgers went down, this team has all the way hit the bottom of the barrel. I don't think he'll be able to get much done on the ground today, so I'm definitely rolling with James Cook.
All right. Silly, what do the numbers say?
Right now we have James Cook sitting at, give me 1 second, 40 and about 40 yards rushing, and Brees Hall sitting at 53. I think Brees Hall in this situation would be the props. When they lost Aaron Rodgers, they really lost a lot of that. So I think they're going to have to be more dependent on their backfield. And I do see with the shellacking they did get, you definitely want to play some caution. But I do see the only way out is probably through their running game. So I would say Brees Hall.
And that makes
Brees
sense.
Hall would be the
protect Zach Wilson. If you protect Zach Wilson, you're protecting all the MILFs out there because we know he's a killer. Oh, he's a MILF killer. You know what I'm saying? So you got to protect Zach Wilson, and one way to do that is keep the ball on the ground. Time of possession and ball control will be huge in this field. Silly C, I'm going to let you know right now. If you don't give us some projections of some people that are projected for at least 80 plus yards, I don't know what all this 26 and 13 yards you're running with, but it's hard for me to get a grasp on it. Let's make it a little bit more challenging. Let's use a little bit more studs. I can tell you who is the props and who is the ops. Go ahead and go with your next duo.
All right, let's go with Stafford and Burrow. Stafford's projected for 254 passing yards, and Burrow's projected for 240. Who's the props?
Who is the props? I think they're both the props with that yardage. I think they're both able to get over 240-ish. And I'll make it even a little bit more spicy. Matt Stafford gets over, and Puka Nuka gets over 8 receptions, just to double it up. So not only will there be production with Stafford, but it will be to one particular dude named Puka. That's what I thought I was going to be saying on week 3 of that season. Jay Reeves, what say you?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to agree with you on that one, man. Matt Stafford here is the props. Joe Burrow may not even make it through this game. He may not even make it to this game. So I'm definitely going to have to roll with Matthew Stafford in this spot.
Well, we'll have to see if Will Burrow would do it or if he'll have to take a wheelbarrow to the freaking stadium because he's hurt right now, man. His neck and his back. Billy C, just out of curiosity, I know you might have your next duo queued up, but do you have the over-under on Puka Nuka this week? Receptions or yardage?
Puka Nuka. 1 second.
He's like, this dude ain't even got a picture yet. Yeah, you might have to.
How you spell that?
Puka Nuka.
Puka Nuka Nuka. Right now, right now I have him projected at 5 receptions and 66 yards with a 40% chance to get in the end zone and about 15 PPR points. So I don't have him projected to be too much of a stud.
Well, let me build this parlay for y'all real quick. Stafford over 244, Puka over 5 reception and over 60 yards. Go ahead and click that little parlay right there, smash it in, and go ahead and make the money. I gave y'all that one for free. The next one's gonna cost y'all. Silly C, what's the next duo you got on your shit?
All right, this one we're gonna go into. Let's see here. All right. So we're going to go into the Broncos backfield here. Who's the props for our running backs. P. Ryan right now's lines at 20.5 rushing yards, and Javonte Williams is at 48.5 rushing yards. Who's the props?
Jay Reeves, go ahead, take this one off.
Man, so Samaje P. Ryan is getting a lot of the passing work. Javonte Williams is working his way back from injury, but I feel like they're starting to trust in Javonte a little bit more. So as we get deeper into the season, man, you're going to see a lot of work coming from Javonte Williams. Also, the boy McLaughlin back there, man, has really been looking kind of spicy, almost edging P. Ryan up out of here. He was getting some of the goal line work last week. With that being said, man, I'm going to have to take Javonte Williams in this spot.
Yeah, man, and it's been a real timeshare situation. I think I'm looking at the attempts. We got Javonte with about 25 attempts on the year, and we got P. Ryan with about 9, and then the aforementioned McLaughlin. He has only 1 carry this year, so I'm not sure what production you think he's taking away.
Was that carry for a touchdown?
I don't know, man. Let me see. What the hell was it? I was just looking at. Sorry. He on the season he has 1 carry, 5 yards, and a touchdown. So he has 7 points on the season.
There you go.
Listen, man, you take a shot at the target.
All you need is a touchdown.
Just because you take a shot at the target, you hear "ow" doesn't mean you hit something. Nigga, get out of here with that shit. McLaughlin got you Mick laughing right now. You gonna be Mick fucked if you think you gonna do that. I think the obvious person is gonna be Javonte Williams. Obviously, he's tapered down from his first round, second round draft status of last year, and his first, second round. Sorry, Christian just texted in a question, but his first round draft status. But with the scarcity of the running backs this year, I think you could look at him to have top 15 running back production this week. I say it's safe for Javonte to be an RB2. Silly C, what do the numbers say?
Yeah, I have to agree 100%, and that numbers actually lean towards that as well. Right now, P. Ryan's projected for about 27 yards, but I don't see him getting that. And Javonte Williams, I do see them working him more into the game now because of since the injury. So I say Javonte Williams would be the props, and he's projected for 49 yards, only a half over the prop line, but I think he actually gets that, and I think he gets 60 to 65 yards this game.
All right, well, in agreement, Javonte is the props, and P. Ryan is the ops. Let's go ahead and we got our first question from somebody listening, and they would like to know from you guys. Well, this is my son. I figure I parent him all week and all the time, so I ain't gonna handle this one. Y'all take this one up, uncles. Is Dobbs set for a big game with Christian Watson out when they play the Saints? What do you guys think about Romeo? Where art thou, Romeo?
Yeah, man, let me go ahead and jump into that one, man. The boy Love has been really overachieving this year and looking real good. Precision passes, man. And with that being said, Romeo Dobbs is definitely going to have a big game. He's working his way back from injury as well, but I think he is getting healthier. He's on the mend. Romeo Dobbs should be a smash play this week, especially with Christian Watson out. So Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, those are the go-to guys right there. Romeo Dobbs having a little bit more experience. I'm definitely getting Romeo Dobbs in the lineup.
All right, maybe Romeo can have his happy ever after. Cody, what do the numbers say on Mr. Romeo for this week? Oh, he did not want to answer that. So, I mean, we will forgo Cody's opinion on it. We do have Christian here in the background. What do you think you're going to get from Romeo today?
40.
40. Yeah, at least we got a man that knows what he wants from his players. You know what I'm saying? He's 40. It's 40, man. Well, I mean, if you're going to, don't hold your breath if you're counting on that, man. But we'll go ahead and keep it pushing. Let me go back to the rundown, see just about where we at. Is it time for Reezy to get off them rankings, man? Hold on. I think I got a graphic. And as we move forward, I'll have more graphics and more shit coming along. Silly, he left, man. He left. just like our dad left. You know, you weren't
No,
there when we
I
needed you. You know what I'm saying? You
My
weren't there when my
fault.
son needed you. You know what I'm saying? He bounced. So I mean, you know, we just gonna keep it pushing.
So
What? Go ahead. What you got for Romeo?
all right, so Dobbs right now I have him sitting at about 3 receptions, 41 yards with a 33% chance to get in the end zone. Only 9 fantasy points, and that's PPR. So I don't know if he's a good fit. If he's your last option, I guess get him in, but maybe you might want to look elsewhere.
Man, it's scarce out there in them free agent streets, especially with the invention of the IR spot with the pandemic. A lot of people aren't having to cut these injured players, and they're able to staff them, and they're able to get new players, and it's just all been kind of working out. Speaking of working out, we got a question. Kareem Hunt signed a 1-year deal with the what? What? Kareem Hunt has signed a 1-year deal with the Cleveland Browns. He's back in Cleveland. Do you think Kareem Hunt will get it done, or do you think they're going to start being built for tough out there?
I
They
don't
let
see
go. They
Kareem
let go of
Hunt
Kareem
being.
Hunt for a reason. This past offseason. So with that being said, I think he's nothing more than a backup running back, man. Possibly getting some third down work. Maybe used around the goal line. Jerome Ford looked real good once Nick Chubb went down, man. I think that their future is going to be invested in Ford tough this season.
Silly see you buy a Ford stock, or maybe you still on the hunt for your running back. See what I did there? What?
I did. I
What?
definitely see them leaning more towards Ford. Hunt is just going to be a backup. He's projected for just about 13 yards, and they do seem to project him to actually have a shot to get in the end zone. But I think Ford is the play here. 50 yards and definitely a 37% chance to get in the end zone. I would definitely go with Ford over Hunt easy.
All right, man. Now that we putting it all in order, man, let's go ahead and put in a list. Everybody loves a list nowadays. Jay Reeves, let's get your rankings. Here we
All right, man. Let's get into it, man. This is going to be a little bit more star power than the props or the ops, but that is neither here nor there. Man.
going on.
Hey, you gotta think. You can't just put stars in there. You gotta make
Shots
You
fired.
gotta make them
Cody,
think.
tell him to use his brain more. Jay Reeves,
Hey,
I'm sure
man,
you thought
we're
about
gonna
this
start
a lot.
right at
Give
the
us
top
your
of the
list.
list, man. I got this top 5 list for the top 5 player props that I'm actually on today, man. And we're gonna start right at the top of the list. In direct correlation with the running back, man, I'm taking Keenan Allen over 75 and a hooker on the receiving yards. And here's why. With Austin Eckler being out, Keenan Allen is used a lot more close to the line of scrimmage, man, taking them short dump offs, man, and also downfield. Keenan Allen has hit this number in his last 2 games, man. So this would be an easy smash play versus that weak Vikings defense. Number 2, man, we got the boy Christian Olave at 67.5 receiving yards, man. It's kind of funny when you're talking about fantasy and a defensive player name keeps coming up. The boy Jair Alexander. Is he going to be on Chris Olave? Is he not? I don't know if he's going to really be following around Chris Olave. He may actually shadow Michael Thomas, but Michael Thomas could be in for a rude awakening when Jair Alexander's like, yeah, I'm not really messing with you today, buddy. And he actually may be on Chris Olave, but I think Chris Olave still gets it done over 67.5. And my next play, the boy, Nico Collins, man, down in Houston. CJ Stroud has been really putting on an air show down in Houston. And with that being said, they have Nico Collins sitting at a measly 54.5. My eyes literally jumped out of my eye sockets when I saw this man jumped all over this play. Nico Collins has hit this in his last 2 games, man. Moving on. It's a real lackluster pick here. Kind of reminded me of the props and ops. But the boy, Isaiah Pacheco. They got him at 49.5 rushing yards, man. I think Isaiah Pacheco is going to have a field day. You hear me? A field day on the Chicago Bears with their weak defense, especially against the run, man, ranked in the bottom tier. And my last play, man, this is a smash play. Big balls to the wall, got him hanging out. The boy Tony Pollard, anytime touchdown. That's actually sitting at minus 220. I don't like those numbers. We're going to ball that up, crumple that up, get him out of here. We got Tony Pollard to score 2 touchdowns, sitting at plus 230. Man, I think he runs wild all over the Arizona Cardinals, man. Tony Pollard. Get him in your lineup. 2 touchdowns, easy, plus 230. Let's go.
Man, you went over with everybody on your rankings, which is great because everybody's glad your segment's over. I think your picks were very reasonable, and I think you did well putting together your ranking list. But who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying? We'll just see how the future pans out. I do like that Tony Pollard pick. They've been playing well. They're taking the pressure off of Dak, but we'll see. Silly C, you got anything to object about that list or tear it apart like he did your segment that you
There are 2 people that I definitely don't like on this list. With that would be Olave and Collins. I think both of them will be interesting. So right now, Olave is projected for 65 yards. So I think that's a little under that 67. And then Nico's projected for 54, which is actually like a half a point under what that prop line was. I think both of those would be cautious, but I do like the other 3.
All
All right, man. Well, I think the list was pretty solid, and Jay Reese can only get better because he can only get better at those lists. Because wow, you know what I'm saying? Oh no, man, I'm starting to feel some division in here, man. Well, let's go ahead and do some force multipliers. Silly C, can we get some top 10 lists of some position groups? What do you got for us today? And how can we play it out? While you put that together, Jay Reese, is there a position group that you found to be more difficult this week than the others? Obviously, running back with all of the injuries. But what do you think about just the position groups and coaching and trying to find your RB1, RB2, wide receiver 1, etc., flex?
The tight end spot is really difficult to pin down, man. I'm going to tell you right now because the tight ends have been real lackluster. And with that being said, is Hunter Henry, is he the number 1 tight end so far throughout 2 weeks in fantasy?
Yeah, just like we all thought.
Just like we all predicted, man. Travis Kelce didn't look too great. This position, man, is real sketchy, man. The dude sitting at the top, Darren Waller, has been just straight ass. And also, Mark Andrews, he came back and he dropped a touchdown. Mark Andrews did look pretty good coming back off an injury, but we need to see the cream rise to the top on this position group, man, because we had some high draft picks on the tight end position, man, and they are not living up to the billing.
Yeah, and Kelce will come back around, and Andrews got off the snide last week. I was one of the people that was able to get Hunter Henry after week 1, so I'm kind of good there with the number 1 freaking dude. But if you are still scrambling, looking for some tight end help, ask your grandma, ask your granddad. This boy Kate, grandson, for the Indianapolis Colts. He's been getting it in, man, catching 70% of his targets, already getting in the end zone. He's ranked as a top 10 tight end, and I do think the tight end for the Colts could give you some production. If you're scrambling like that, I like his matchup today against Baltimore. Even though it says they're good at the tight end spot, I just don't think they've played a really good tight end yet. Silly C, what you got your top 10 list?
All righty, let's jump into it. Do you want to share the screen?
Do you want to share the screen, fool?
All right, so we're going to jump right into it. We got receivers and number 10, which I think is quite low for him. We're going to jump with St. Brown. 9, we got Keenan Allen. Calvin Ridley at 8. Devontae Adams at 7, and AJ Brown at 6.
All right, Jay Reese, he stacked that list. You unpack that list. What do you think, Jay Reese?
Oh man, this is a real good list. I mean, you already talked about some people that I had, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown has a plate in his foot. Man, that was going to be real tough, man. I'm gonna ride St. Brown. He may be like looking really down on production this year. The arrow is down on him. Keenan Allen, like I already talked about, he's going to have a smash game, man. So you definitely want to get Keenan Allen in your lineup. And the next person I want to take off this list, I don't know, Vio. Help me out here, man. Jump in.
Man, I like, out as far as this list, I really like, I think this is a heavy list in the back end as far as with Adams and Allen. I do like both of them. And I'm just kind of interested to see Zone be over there. We already got A.J. Brown up there. Might we get a Devontae Smith in the top 5? I'm sure we'll get a Hill in the top 5. I really want to see how this top 5 shakes out. So, Silly, let's see who we got in the top 5 of your wide receivers this week.
Yes,
Going all the way up to kick down. We are Fuss Sports, Beer Bros, pre-gaming. Let's get in the top 5.
So 5, we'll take Samuel off because he already played. We got Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got C.D. Lamb,
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson,
Mm.
and then Mr. Tyreek Hill. With Waddle being out, obviously he's going to be up there because his production is most likely going to increase. One of the things I like about this piece, though, is the C.D. Lamb's. He's sitting at about a 60% chance to get in the end zone, and I think he does this week. But go ahead and unpack that.
Yeah, man. Tyreek Hill could definitely have that Rihanna treatment where they put the umbrella on this fool. So Tyreek Hill could be a risky play, but that's Tyreek Hill, man. So we're just going to keep it moving with that. The boy Stephon Diggs, it's a weather game. I don't know how much he's going to really be getting used. Justin Jefferson is a definite smash play. He's been getting a lot of production out there on the field, man. So this is a real good list right here, man. Vio, what you think about it?
I'm just disgusted seeing my number 4 draft pick, Jamar Chase, always in the top 5 of these lists, and he's sitting not even top 30 of the actual production, man. We got all types of clowns above him. Right now, the most concerning thing is the star quarterbacks that feed these wide receivers have been playing like poop. Man, we haven't seen a ton out of Dak, and that's because they've been getting ahead. Burrow has not been doing great, and Josh Allen hasn't been doing great. It's kind of odd that the highest performing quarterback of any of these top 5 receivers is Tyreek Hill's Tua Tagovailoa, and Tua's been getting it, man, and I expect big things from him. Though, and just the accuracy is incredible, man. Me and Cody were watching the highlights of that pass in the end zone that went right over the defender. Still hit the dude right in the numbers. Tua's incredible. I think he's playing right now, and then the other one is Kirk Cousins. We didn't see it coming. We also didn't see an 0-2 start for the Vikings coming. I want to see if the Vikings could get a win and still get that production out of Jefferson, or if maybe they're counting too much on him and that's why they keep catching L's. Yeah, man, that's how I look at that list. Jay Reese?
Yep. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
In total agreement. We've already went over this, so we could just keep it right on.
He said so. It's not massive. All right, man. Well, that's a wrap, man. That's our first live show for the week. That does bring us up to last call, man. And any last minute switches or any decision y'all having with your own fantasy teams or anything like that. Oh, hold on. I got a graphic. We got to play the. It's a quote from me. It's never too late to do some dumb shit. So, I mean, like, here we go. We got 15 minutes till kickoffs. Can I get either of you guys to do some dumb shit? Is there any pressing questions on your teams? Maybe a last minute switch that I could do. I doubt Jay Reeves will touch anything because I know he put his lineup in before he got here, but what Definitely. Was he thinking? What was the hard parts of starting your staff this morning? And Silly C, what do you think?
So to start off, I'm really, really debating right now the plus 220 on the Broncos money line.
Ooh.
I feel like they have to win a game eventually. I feel like it has a possibility. What are y'all's thoughts about going in on that?
No. I did say it's never too late to do no dumb shit. But we not doing crazy shit out here. You're not gonna do crazy. The Broncos and most teams have notoriously performed really poor when going to Miami. A lot of our big wins on Miami have come into Mile High City. I'm not sure how we make up the difference between a team that is clicking on all cylinders and do a team that needs to call triple
A
A.
Super Bowl year, we did go in Miami and beat Miami in Miami.
Bro, I was in 6th grade. I was in 6th grade.
So there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance? Maybe there is, man. Yeah, man, I'm here to try to get y'all to do something stupid, but I ain't gonna get you to do nothing crazy. Cody, put down that phone. Do not bet on the Broncos on the money line. Unless you got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got it like that. You can take the Broncos with the points. That might be something a little less stupid. Jay Reed's anything that I could get you to do, jump off the roof right now. Let's go.
All right, man. So this is a 2-part. Like, one, I don't really need your advice on, and the second one, I'm gonna come to you. But I actually had Joshua Kelly sitting on my bench and Rashad White in there going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, man. And I really had to. I wanted a piece of this Minnesota Chargers game, so I threw in Josh Kelly. But we're gonna keep it moving, man. I am really having a tough time putting in Jaylen Warren versus the Las Vegas Raiders or Josh Reynolds versus the Atlanta Falcons. What say you?
I think Josh Reynolds is the upside play there, man. Like, I think he's been doing well. Reynolds' rap has not been foiled yet this season. He's been solid. He's sitting right outside of the top 10 in most PPR leagues. The targets are there. The share is there. The talent at the quarterback and the confidence between the quarterback wide receiver relationship, it's all there. Check, 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 check. I would say play Reynolds over Warren, just because, you know, the Najee factor, and maybe Najee will start clicking if Pickett could get 8 men off of the line, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get him to respect the deep ball and stuff. So I would say no Warren and yes to Reynolds. Silly C, do you have anything on that?
I don't really like Warren at all. I say yes on Reynolds as well. I don't see him having a big game, but I do say yes on Reynolds.
All right, last but not least, let's see if y'all can make me do something crazy at the last minute. This isn't last minute crazy, but with Aaron Jones being announced out, with Aaron Jones being announced out, and Dylan getting this uptick to his production, it's looking like now I have a question at my flex spot. I got Najee Harris or AJ Dillon, which I got Najee in the flex right now because he was projected for more before the Aaron Jones announcement. But where are we at? Flex spot, Najee Harris and AJ Dillon.
Oh man, AJ Dillon is putting up some real lackluster production. I'm actually going to have to see it from him. Najee Harris as well, man. This is a real tough one. I would definitely have to go with
call.
I would definitely have to go with Najee Harris in the primetime spot here. Every time you want to get away from Najee Harris and think he's not about to do it, he becomes a smash. I think Najee Harris could possibly get up in that century yard mark and possibly a touchdown. So Najee Harris, definitely the play for me.
The matchup kind of dictates that, with Vegas being the 31st worst against the running back. New Orleans is the 11th. Silly C, what did the numbers say? What should I do? 10 minutes till kickoff.
God, I'd have to say flip a quarter. They both projected for about 10 fantasy points in the PPR league. You have 47 yards for Harris and 38 for Dillon. 13 receiving yards for Harris, 11 for Dillon. I don't really see. They're the same play. Coin flip.
All right, man. Well, we'll just go with that. That'll give me some late night juice. I hate being too stacked at the 11 a.m. Thing. We'll keep primetime Najee in there and see if it helps. If not, at least we know how we're going to open up our show next week with me going to both of y'all. You know both of y'all. But we'll see how it goes, man. Y'all know what time it is. Beer Bro pre-gaming. We'll be doing this live 9:45 every Sunday. Jump on here, chop it up. Let's get it going. Y'all know what time it is.
Welcome. Yes, you're in the new Providence. When niggas get to snapping like they got no common sense. When we approach with confidence, we go with confidence. Cause offense is enough to throw the hardest to the fence.
And yeah, bitch, I'm on top of my game. So we can take my picture, put it in a superstar frame.
Now I get steady looks, cause I got heavy push. A playmaker with the rock, no Reggie Bush. Yeah, the Betty look kinda like a heavy book.